What's up, everybody? This is Vlad with Trader Foundation. Got a special guest for you today, Erin. She's actually one of our students for over probably 4 years. Now, you might be wondering, man, it took her 4 years? No, no. She actually became a coach with us, and she has an incredible story, which I think everybody who's in the trading world, in the working world, really, really needs to hear because it's pretty incredible, actually. So, Erin, how are you today?
I'm doing good, thank you. Yeah, I'm really excited to be here.
Awesome, awesome. So tell me, I know you've been with us for a while, and you've inspired a lot of people here, and just would really want to know, like, how did it all get started? Like, what made you even consider trading from the very beginning?
Yeah. I just want to give some background about myself.
Yeah,
When I've always been interested in learning technical analysis, trading, but I think I just didn't know really where to start. There's so many ads and groups on the internet, and the one thing that stood out to me was or Trader Foundation has coaching, and that is really rare. And so at the time, a few years ago, I basically like begged my husband, and finally he agreed. And I talked through with so many people who were at Trader Foundation. Were like, yeah, this is actually the real deal and everything. I was like, all right, I'm gonna take a leap, basically. And so I did, and that was probably one of the like best decisions of my life. I don't have like an insane background. I mean, I'm your typical. I came to the US when I was 5. I'm one of 4 siblings, and we're all very close in age. Out of the 4 siblings, I always have been really interested in investing and trading, but again, didn't really know where to start. And I really wanted to understand like how to do this and learn this, and I was really like knowledge savvy. So I've been in corporate America for over 10 years, and I've been through layoffs left and right like all the time. And I'm just like, I want to be okay when something were to happen. So that was, one of the reasons. And the other thing too is I know that my husband and we were going to start a family sometime. And I wanted to also be able to build, wealth and a platform for my family as well. And kind of like, I know it's pretty lame, but like pass something else on for them too. At the time, my son wasn't even born, so I couldn't say, but yes, my son has a name and his name is Keon. Yeah, that was another thing, like just wanting to build kind of the wealth platform for our family. Now, thankfully, I've been able to do that through like all the things I've learned at Trader Foundation. But that was probably the biggest motivating factors for me as to why I did this.
that's awesome. I mean, I could definitely relate. I came to the U.S. at 7, so it is a little uncertainty, especially when you don't have the language and things like that. So it's really, really tough. But like, why specifically? Because people ask this all the time, like, why trading? People consider that could be, especially like in other countries, could be a gamble, and
Mhm.
you're putting money in. How do you know what it's gonna do? Well, like, why not invest in something else? Why specifically? Like, what attracted you to stocks, options, things like that?
I think everyone has the capabilities to open a stock brokerage account. We can all do it. And I think that's like the easier entry point from that perspective. Of course, Trader Foundation gave the tools of like actually how to read, how to chart, how to input all this, how to do all of these technical things, spreads and so forth. Because you can also apply what you learn for this to everything,
Yeah.
any asset that you want to trade or any time frame and whatnot. And that's pretty much the biggest reason because I also don't want to own a certain business or whatnot that requires a lot more capabilities than I think I'm
Yeah.
capable of doing. But
Gotcha.
that's how I saw it as.
We weren't your first stop. Like, I know you. I remember you told me
Yes.
you had other experiences and things like that.
Yeah, I think other ones were it was like too much information overload, I think. And
As far as like, what did you try?
so a lot of the other like platforms, they have so much information, and most of them all try to day trade, which is literally the most difficult form of trading.
Hmm.
And it's for most everyday people, it's just not sustainable. Because it requires so much precision. You have to be on the charts all the time. So that was the biggest thing.
Have you tried? You've tried it.
Yeah, of course, everyone has, right? Yeah,
Yeah,
everyone.
I know I have. But a lot of people, I think the biggest thing we hear is, everybody talks about it. And one of the things I hear is, well, look, you could just get into this one candle and make all this
Yeah,
money in few minutes, and you're gonna, scale this to the
yeah,
moon. And people don't always realize that it could happen once or twice. But a lot of
exactly.
times we hear the people that come into us saying, yeah, but then I blew up my account. Like,
Well,
and
it's like
it's unfortunate.
the
Yeah, go ahead.
consistency is difficult. Also, you always hear about, which I'm always skeptical, of like, oh, I'm an AI bot that will trade for you. I'm like, that sounds super scammy, but okay. All these things. And the biggest, I think I mentioned this before too. The biggest thing was because we had one-on-one coaching. That is, every single group that I looked at, they didn't have that at all.
Hmm. And
And
it's funny you say that. And when you mentioned AI bots, I know a few people actually came to us. It's like, it's a machine that'll make you money, but then like, why is it not on the news and everybody's rich? I mean, it's a
I
machine
know
making
that's
money.
like when it's usually too good to be true and it sounds too good to be true, usually it is.
Well, and listen, it makes sense. I mean, if it's the path to least resistance, it sounds good, so why not try
Yeah,
it? And I think a lot of people have. I mean, I've tried my own shortcuts, so it sounds like you have too in the past.
absolutely. Everyone has. And that's the reason why I ended up joining Trader Foundation was because I think before I joined, you sent me something before because you know me, I was so skeptical. I think you called me too, for
Hmm.
sure. And I
Hmm.
was
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
"Oh, I don't know." And then I think I probably blew you off several times, honestly. And then so I was like, all right, I'll do this. She was like, you give me your word and whatnot. And I definitely finished the course and everything. But yeah, that was the biggest thing was the coaching. No one offers it.
What made you really decide? And I remember that, but part of it is you were just such a good fit for this. Like, it felt like you already had a lot of people come here too fresh, and what happens is they never had the bad experiences yet. So their first thing is like, well, why do I gotta study this when I could just have somebody else do it for me, or I could just follow a signal, and then they realize you don't have a foundation to do all those things. What made you say, no, 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 I'm done with the shortcuts. It's time. It's time to just get the knowledge.
For me, it was like a pride thing that I wanted to own something and know how to do it. That's a big portion of it because I'm very motivated and driven in nature, but I don't want to rely on someone else's signals or whatever. I want to rely on my own.
Hmm.
And it's funny now because again, we're not like a signals group, but now I can be like, ah, this is it. You know, like this is the
Yeah,
one.
that's true. That's true. And I think it's great. I think signals themselves are actually a good idea, but I look at it more like a trade idea. Like, if you could tell
Exactly.
me the why behind of what you're doing instead of do this and do that, that's it.
Yeah, exactly. And you know what? Now that I know all this, these items, I can be like, oh, I completely understand why they're doing this now. Because before I would not have had the knowledge
Hmm.
or even view it like I have no idea what they're talking about. But now because like when other concepts kind of come through, I can be like, I totally get this, or I can explain this
Yeah, yeah.
or whatnot.
And
Yeah.
listen, I know you've had some success. And by the way, in a few minutes, we're going to share. Erin's going to actually show you and prove to you her success because she really is very proud of it, and we're proud of that. However, I do have a question.
Yes.
One of the things we've learned, I know from a lot of people, is traders. There's a lot of great traders out there, tons, good people. They sell products, things like that, and they sell strategies, which obviously is important. But we've also learned that not every trader, most are not good trainers. It's two separate skill sets.
Mhm.
You've happened to be able to do both because you became a trainer with us. And how do I know you're a good trainer? We're just based on customers, the results, and people love you. They ask for you. So for whatever reason, there's this other piece to you where it says, hey, I've mastered this to a point where I could break it down. Because again, a lot of these companies, what we've seen, a lot of the people that join us, They think doing the signals, doing AI bots, they're all this is the answer when it's like maybe, but that's chapter 10. You want to
Mhm.
do chapter 10 before you learn 1 through 9. And it's because most traders just don't teach. They just say, "Yep, this is what I do. Copy me, go for it." And it's frustrating. You happen to have that skill set. What happened? How did you discover? How did you even want to do this? Like, what transition to this?
Okay, first of all, I really enjoy. Okay, whenever if everyone gets on a call with me, the first call I always ask, like, just tell me why are you doing this? What is your drive? Like, because I just genuinely like to meet people. I'm a social being, so for one, I love just talking to everyone and just getting to know the real reason why they're doing it. And at least as for the just coaching, I generally enjoy helping people. You know, when I meet with someone, there's a student, there's a new one. He just came aboard a few weeks ago, I think. A shout out to Alec if he's listening. He's new, and I could just see because when I asked him, like, "Hey, tell me why are you really doing this?" Right? Because I'm like, he's young. He's like 23. You know, just a kid out of school. He's like, really? He's like, I want to be able to do other things, not rely on corporate and everything. And I was like, all right, then prove it to me. And he shows up every single week, like, hey, Erin, look at this trade. Look at this trade. He'll spam me practically, like, Erin, text, these are all the things. Like, I love working with people that are like that have that passion and drive.
It's funny you mentioned Alec because he joins my lives as well when I'm doing them, and he makes my job a lot easier because he brings in
I
like 10 plays, and I'm like,
I know,
oh, I
and
don't have to call out plays. I just copy him now. I was like, thanks,
I know,
bro.
and that's the thing. He's fairly new. He only started
He's
like
been like here a month, maybe a month and a
maybe a
half.
month
Yeah.
or 2 months or something. And again,
Mm.
similar background. He literally didn't he had not much experience with trading or investing or anything like that, and he puts in the work. Because I remember, I think I meet with him every week, and this is another thing, people that I meet with regularly, I mean, that's what you pay for. People who meet regularly and actually put in the work and ask, like, hey, I told you to do this, and they do and they deliver, they tend to do better.
Yeah.
Like,
And it's interesting because another question everybody always asks, well, how long will it take me to learn this? I don't got time, and I get it. Look, we're busy people, but to me, it sounds like, I mean, this kid did it. Like, I'm may not be, maybe I am exaggerating, but you tell me. Keep me honest here. I could have sworn he did this in a week, and he already had a pretty good idea to start looking at trades and doing all these things in a
well,
week.
that was the thing. He's only been here like a month or two at the most. And as soon as he started, because I think by the time I met with him first, I think he said he already did the whole technical analysis course.
He did, and he comprehended, and we have to. I mean, I
Yeah.
remember before you, I think we had a guy named Shrey, who's an electrical engineer. He got it in a week and made like 6 grand his first like week. So
Yeah,
it's
I
like,
believe that there's several people because even when I started, like and you're asking me how long does it take? It depends on how much time you actually devote to it. Because I
yeah,
remember when I started Trader Foundation, I was working a pretty demanding job. And so I just blocked off time off my calendar to do this or to study this. And of course, because I definitely like enjoy this stuff, I, blocked out some of my weekends. I'd be looking at this late at night. And I mean, ask Elliot or Leo, one of our coaches, or both of coaches. I would be texting them at 2 a.m. or even our Leo, another coach of ours. He has two kids, older kids now, but at the time they were younger. Ran a restaurant. He has like
two
other things.
restaurants.
Yeah,
Mhm.
restaurants. He has other businesses, and he was also like he was able to get this to with the amount of things that he's managing. It just depends on how much time that you're able to devote to it and how much you actually really want it.
Yeah, yeah,
Because
and it's amazing because some people take them. Obviously, I'm not saying everyone's going to get this in a week. I think
no,
average,
absolutely
probably,
not.
if you're a beginner and you have 30 to 60 days to really start real trading, things like that. But I guess it really does depend. I guess on who it is and how committed you are.
Yeah, the commitment to the time because Alec is a really good example of him. He really took in the time to do all those things. So like
23, pretty impressive, man.
I know, and there's some other people, and I'm not gonna name names, but there's another person that I've coached and I've known for a while too. He is like an executive of a major company and he finds time. I mean, he's texting me at he's on an airplane, and he's like, Aaron, can you take a look at these? And or whatnot. And I'm like, he's like, my Wi-Fi is spotty. And I'm like, why is your Wi-Fi spotty? He's
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
oh,
yeah.
I'm on a plane right now. And I'm like, okay. And then if he is managing to trade, like people can do it. Of course, you know, working with certain folks, when I understand their schedules and lives, I ask them like, all right, most likely you're probably not going to be doing dailies. I will suggest weeklies or monthlies for you or whatnot because you tailor it to their lifestyle.
Let's talk about that. Tailoring to the life, because a lot of people don't realize this. I could teach you the best strategy that I think is the best strategy. Zero DTE. You could trade it
Yeah.
right there. You could do a day trading. You could do forex. You could do, like there's so many strategies, and everyone's always asking, but how do I know yours is the best one? And you mentioned something, tailoring it to someone's life. Obviously,
Yeah.
that's where the one-on-one coaching does help out when you know someone
Yeah. Well, and
personally.
that's the reason why my first question is, what do you do for a living? What is your situation? Tell me about it. Because I knew when I spoke to my friend, I'm just gonna say his name is Dave, just because I don't want to say it or anything. But Dave was way too busy to be trading dailies. He's jet setting off to parts of the country, flying all the time. There's no way it's just like let's say there's spotty Wi-Fi on the plane and he needs to, close something and it's not happening, that's gonna be an issue. Which is the reason why I was like, I'm gonna tell you right now, you're gonna be doing weeklies and monthlies, just based off of knowing your lifestyle.
So yeah, let's talk about that, man. So what does that exactly look like with Dave, right? I think I know
Yeah.
exactly who you're talking about. I think me and Leo discussed this gentleman.
Yeah.
He's made a lot of money with you, is what it is.
Yeah, and he says typically now it's become he just texts me. He's like, "Oh, unless Aaron verifies, I just don't trade it." So I was like, "I'm sorry, I'm a little slow because I'm
No,
running
but that's
around."
but that here's the thing. So two things you mentioned here. One, you how many people would take a course? They take course,
Yeah.
YouTube University, whatever, something, and they're committed. Like it's not even the work ethic. It's just they're going in the direction that's like it's like basically trying to rob a bank by banging your head over the safe. You're trying, but it's not gonna work, and they're just
Mhm.
going in the wrong direction for their life. And
Yeah.
like, how does it look like to you? You said you asked them the questions and you tailor the strategy or I guess sounds like a trading plan to them.
Yeah. A lot of times when I'm just kind of getting to know them, I understand. So for some people, they work from home and they're able to look at the charts all the time. And I was
Yeah,
like, that's the case, you can probably trade dailies for sure. But if someone is trading, if they're busy traveling and whatnot, and their work is super demanding, I'm like, there's no way you're going to be able to trade dailies.
yeah, yeah,
So then that's where I'm like, telling them about weeklies and monthlies. And then I asked them to get like a little bit further, like, what are you kind of gravitating towards? Like, what kind of setups and whatnot? Because that's when we were like, all right, I'm gravitating towards this scenario. And I'm like, all right, let's look for those. Because you kind of find out like naturally what they're looking for or
yeah.
what's coming easier for them or whatnot. And then we focus in on that because that's how you go with, people's strengths, right?
Yeah, and and again, I don't think people realize how important it is to be in that exact and what you do. I think that alone might be even sometimes more worth it than the actual coaching, just because you're sending me in the right direction. That meant you just save me decades of mistakes and turn them into days, which is great. But
Mhm.
the other thing you mentioned is, well, he's on a plane, he's doing all these things, and now he's literally kind of saying, you know what? I'll pick the plays, you verify.
Yes.
And it
And
became kind of like a shortcut after building the foundation.
yes. And I was trying to think how long I've even known Dave for. Maybe it's been a little less than a year. I don't know. I can't remember
I'm
because
waiting for you to slip and say his
yeah,
name.
yeah. Because a lot of times, people that I work with a lot, they kind of become friends
Yeah.
or whatnot, and I meet them or whatnot whenever I travel somewhere or something, and it's just because this community has grown so much larger. So I just
Hmm.
remember when I first started, this community was so small, and then now we have people all over the world actually, too now. But yeah, you just kind of now it's kind of grown. Like he used to it used to be that I would send him like, "Hey, take a look at this," but now it's kind of reversed, and he sends us all like, "Hey, what do you think of this?" or what and whatnot on our lives and whatnot because we host lives every single day of the week
Yeah, yeah.
to
Y-
discuss like our plays or like what we're looking at, and you can tell like even for people who are newer the lives, like you can tell, like, oh, these people are putting in the work because their setups, like we do shout outs, like this is good, you know, and whatnot.
So I know a lot of our members, like, we have different coaching platforms and things like that. But as far as, people like the lifetime membership, which is basically you have a community and one-on-one coaching for like, so you, I've noticed a lot of people like that now who know what you're doing, understand the platform, they understand the trading plan you all came up with together. They know what to do, but they still want to be a part of the
The
community. And
community, yeah, and
and
it's
I know for you, and I'll let you talk in a sec, but I want to know about that because you mentioned something too about that. Every time I asked you, I was like, "Look, you don't have to coach. Like, you're making money." Like, and one thing you said, "I don't care. I just love to do it." I mean, for a while, you were getting barely paid, and you were just like, "I just want to do it." Even Leo, he was trading, he was coaching it for free for over a year. I felt like I
yeah.
was obligated to pay because you just guys. I want to hear about that because that community and just how you guys are with these people is pretty crazy.
So for a lot of these things, trading is kind of lonely if you're not in a community. First of all, I'm
Hmm.
just gonna be it completely open. It is lonely. The other thing too is with the community, most of these people have become like one of my like really good friends. Like all the people that I've met, they've become really good friends, and I would be really sad if I just wasn't part of that. And the other thing too is like my favorite thing is when someone actually reaches out to me. I'm like, hey, I need your help, and I'm like, hey, just give me a call
Hmm.
or whatnot. And I've just made so many relationships, and people will tell me something new. I'm like, I didn't even know of this, or I'll learn something new because sometimes, like, as coaches, we're always learning new things. That is our
Yeah.
jobs. I always say Trader Foundation set such a great baseline that anything kind of new concept related for me, it comes so much easier.
Yeah.
Like, and I can say this firsthand because if I didn't know some of the things like with technical analysis, like, and there's a slew of things that we can get to in more details on another time. But if I didn't know a lot of these things, anything that's new that was thrown at me and I wouldn't know. It would be
Yeah.
very difficult, but it makes it significantly easier. But yeah, the biggest thing is just the community and like the friends. And, when we have lives, it's pretty funny. Like a lot of times when like, Elliot and I or Leo, we get on a call and we're talking to everyone. It's just a fun time to like talk or ask questions. Cause I mean, we live and breathe this stuff.
Yeah.
And and this is not like a job for me. It's something I genuinely enjoy. Ask my husband because I'm not even kidding. Okay. So, okay. I gave birth to my son. He was born August 26th last year, okay? And I was literally in labor at the hospital. And this is when my like Elliot and Leah were like, there's a sign of like dedication and you're just crazy. So maybe I'm a little crazy, okay? So I was literally in labor at the hospital. And everyone's like, my mom and my husband were like, what are you doing? And then I'm like, I'm literally exiting some positions right now because I think I'm gonna be a little busy for the next few weeks or a few years of my life because I was in plays and I gave birth like a month earlier than expected.
Oh wow.
And so, and that was, I think I remember I texted him like, "Hey guys, I had some," because I literally was not expecting to
Oh
go
yes, I remember that. Yep, yep,
into
yep.
labor for a while, and so I was like, "Hey, I have a bunch of sessions, and I'm not gonna be able to make it because it's very much unlike me to just like blow them off or anything."
Yeah.
And it was literally because, and it's also I was not wanting to trade right when I have a newborn. So I exited like a bunch of trades that I was in. They were green. It was fine because we were still like August was still a good month and everything. But I was like, I just need to exit because I don't want to be managing this and I'm gonna be too busy. That for you is a passion, which when I was literally in labor
It's crazy.
at the hospital. So
Yeah, I just could imagine you being in the hospital. No, no, no. I can't push right now. I need to do this.
yeah, well, it's funny because I'm on my phone because I didn't bring my laptop because everyone's like, why are you bring? I was literally packing this in my hospital bag,
Hmm.
my laptop, and they're like, what are you doing? And I was like,
Yeah.
"Okay, I'll just bring my iPad. That's fine." But yeah, to talk about if you're asking, yes, I genuinely love this because I was literally in labor and yeah, doing
I
this.
got a question too. I got another question for you. So let's. I know you mentioned. I don't remember when you first called me, and you were excited about doing the coaching, but also there was a moment. It was kind of scary for you. I believe you were in a high paying job, and then
Yeah,
out of nowhere, it's happening a lot now with AI and all this other stuff. You just lost your job. You literally
yeah.
just gone. And I know that was a crazy time for you. Can you like talk about that?
I think for everyone, and this like for my like it's scary to not like corporate America doesn't care about you. I am the pristine employee. I show up every day, I grind and I do my stuff and whatnot. But like, I mean, it's scary, especially like now I have a family to provide for and whatnot. Like, obviously, it's just scary in general. And one of the biggest things is I just didn't want to have to rely on corporate anymore. And that's also one of the really big driving forces as to why I joined this. It was for that. I wanted to be able to provide, especially on my terms.
Yeah.
That's the biggest thing. Yeah, it's on my terms versus something else.
Yeah, I have to tell you, like, even for me, a lot of people ask me, like, why do I do this? And, I lost my job for a long time ago
Yeah.
now. It's been a while. But why do I continue doing this? And it's just, to me, it's like, okay, well, money's good, success is good, but having a nice, like, family feel, like the coaches we have, the
Mm.
team behind me, we have Steve, we have all these other guys here who are just like, really, really just a pleasure to work with, and and I don't know, I wouldn't change it for the world. So it's really, really cool. So I'm glad that you found yourself here, and not
Yeah.
because guess what? The last thing you want to do is look for another job, and especially right now is kind of crazy right
No,
now.
I know. And it's a really bad time, I think, for a lot of people looking. And so I'm so grateful that I took the leap of faith, was it 4 years ago or whatnot, to do this?
2020, yeah, 20, yeah.
2021 or something.
Don't know
It was
whenever someone's watching this, but
yeah,
it's
yeah,
2020.
several months
It's
ago, because I had to
2025 right
look
now.
through it. Because I
Hmm.
remember, I think I called you. I went through the course really quickly, and then because I remember Steve was the one who closed, and he was like, "Aaron, it's okay." I'm like, "All right, I'm holding you to your word." You know?
Oh, let's talk about that. Holding you to the word. So one thing I heard rumors about you. I don't know how
Uh,
true this is, but
Okay.
apparently they're true. Uh, you really hold people accountable. You don't let them
Yeah.
get away without, like, you have this high standard of you will succeed or else. Now, I don't know how true this is, but people tell me that, if you're working with Erin, you better be on your A game because she will not let you fail.
Yes, and I think it's also okay, when I did coaching, like, not full time or anything like that, I was busy. I do this just because I like to talk to people and engage the community and all that. And I don't need this, in general. But I want people to really take this seriously because I don't want them to waste their own time, but especially my own time too, because I could be with my family. And so I expect them to be like, hey, you put your best foot forward, truly make an effort. I will be here to guide you, but I'm also the type of person like, that we have three coaches, and this is for a reason. Sometimes my style may not resonate with somebody. That's okay. You might Leo, I think his he's very patient.
Hmm.
Sometimes to a level that I can't do. And it's probably because I'm a mom and my little bits of patience sometimes as a mom, it just doesn't exist sometimes. And Elliot, different style. He's like chill as a cucumber, some type of thing. I'm like the best of both. It just depends. And for me, I'm like, I think I actually say this right when I meet with someone. I'm like, hey, we always encourage meet with all the coaches and see which one that you want to be with. That's okay.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to be offended either way. But I'm telling you right now, I am going to tell you the real response, because there was somebody who asked me, like, Erin, evaluate my trade. And they're like, I'm unfortunately the type, like, I cannot really hide my emotions on my face.
Hmm.
And
I
they're
don't know if
like,
that's unfortunate, man. It's refreshing to have.
that's true. Maybe, or maybe not. I don't know.
I'll tell you, the rumor came from a client who
Oh, I
told
believe
me
it.
that they're like, man, she tore into me about this trade because she gave me the rules, and I'm like, I thought he was about to like cancel. I was like, yeah, so what's going on? What do you want to do? He's like, no, I just want to let you know, man, it's so refreshing. I come from a world of corporate. People are, just kiss my butt all the time. I needed to hear that. Oh, I'm like, okay, cool. But it made me realize it's good to have, being direct. We're from
Yeah,
Eastern Europe. We're
well,
direct.
I definitely am. But, I just expect them to put their best face forward and put their full effort.
But
And
isn't accountability a big part of doing
yes,
this? Because people commit to this sometimes, and we've had people who literally paid us and never even turned anything on, and we never heard from them again. No matter what, even you could reach out to them, and they're like, "Oh, yeah," like
and it
what?
to me, it boggles my mind because I'm like, you invested in yourself and you just don't care to, I guess. I don't know.
It's
But
insane.
it to me it's insane, but it is what it is, I guess. But yeah, like I think I know who you're talking about regarding the person that's like, yeah, I probably ripped a new one on them, but I was just like transparent. I was like, this was not. And it's so funny because when they ask me how do I feel, I'm like, you already know how I feel, but yet you want me to verbally tell you because even though they already know the response.
But I
And,
think
and
they
what
like that because it is not everybody, but I think there's people who need to have accountability to know that even though
yes,
what it
and so
shows.
then they hear it for themselves, or because
Yeah, man.
I don't like being like I told you so. I don't want to do that.
Well, I'll tell you, I know like there's a lot of like we'll talk off topic here, but like fitness programs, they're all kind of doing the same thing, but they're like a lot of them make money for one reason. They're like, well, they'll tell you straight up. They're like, we listen, like same with us. We know it's out there. You could get the information on YouTube. You could find things, but you won't. You just
Mhm,
won't. It's easy to do. It's easy not to do, and it's hard to compile the right information. So it's that accountability is huge, huge.
mhm,
But here's the real deal, okay? Let's not beat around the bush here, Aaron.
mhm.
People always ask another question is, okay, so you're saying you do well and you've had some success, and a lot of people want to see success, right?
Yeah,
And you said, hey, you asked me, I want to share some of my, one of your portfolios you have. I know you
yeah,
have one, I think it was a Roth IRA or something like that. You
yes,
said, hey,
and
I opened this one. There's tax free. This is a good one to, maybe trade for me. And I guess it's one of them. And I'll let you take it away. Tell me all about it. And maybe if you want to share your screen, we'd love to see it.
so
Okay,
I
so this is
started
your
off.
chart here, your Fidelity. Okay, cool.
I started off with like 32,000
Uh
this
huh.
year, and this is where it is today as of the market timing.
Oof. So you doubled,
Pretty much, yeah.
more than
It's
doubled.
up about 80% this year, and it's a combination of, I mean, different strategies, but also like you can apply this to any like account that you have that you want to grow and
Yeah, and
whatnot.
I know you do a lot. Like this is not like this is another thing that's impressive. You're a mom. You do all these things. So it's not like
Yeah.
you're at a screen all the time.
No, and that's the thing too. Like learning how to chart, I know when there's opportunity and I seized on it. I want to showcase like So these are the positions that I'm in real time right now. Okay.
Okay.
And I can also show you too, like I played Google, but you can see that I started scaling in back in February.
Hmm.
And you can see all of this. Like it wasn't just like a one time, but I scaled them. And this is my return as of today. Like,
Amazing. Yep.
so like it's possible, but it's just like you got anyone can do it. It's just you need to, coaches and the community can help you with. I think I
Hmm.
remember I probably said, "Hey guys, I think Google is a buy so many times." And I sure hope somebody took advantage of it on
Yeah,
the
yeah, it's
committee.
definitely killed it. I want to see something like so. Can you close this? And if you look at just the other positions, no, keep it here, but just
Yeah.
eh, I mean, there's a lot of I mean, all of them. You're up on basically all your positions, and that's the key. Is like, up. I see one. You're down 3%. I saw that,
Oh wait,
but
there's
for the
one.
most part, yeah, it looks pretty like very I mean, you're up 59.75% as an average.
Yeah.
I mean, it's pretty incredible just how consistent it is. I mean, there's definitely every position for the most part, every single position you're in is just killing it. So, and that's what's cool. Like you could put more money into it. Aaron decided, hey, let me just use my Roth IRA. It's limited. So you could only put so much in, but you could do it with any position. And especially
Mm.
a lot of people have 401ks. They have portfolios, things like that. Like this is fantastic. And
And the
obviously,
other
you
thing
see it.
too is this is these ones are fresh. I just entered them like a few
Yeah.
days ago, but the thing is I did this kind of stuff with shares. And you can utilize all these methods once you know like technical analysis and understanding charting. You can utilize it to compound so many things. I
Hmm.
showcased this one in particular because I didn't open this up until like 2021. And
Yeah.
when I started, it was right around 2021. So I wanted to show like this is real time, like
Yeah, and
from when I
what's
started.
cool is like we actually had a client. I think he was one of your client. Could be maybe Elliot. He took our course, never traded options. He didn't want to do options. He
And
just
that's
like,
okay.
but he made a lot of money in crypto. But he's like, I just use your analysis to do
Yeah,
crypto. I'm like, okay, I don't do crypto. It's not my thing. But who's stopping you? It's the same psychology.
yeah,
Just
that's the
nobody's
same
teaching it.
thing everywhere. I think I have another Kelly. She's a long standing trader foundation. Like
Yeah,
she's the
long time.
OG, and even before I think I came in, she's been here longer than I have, and she only trades shares, and that's
Yeah, and
okay.
that's fine. Yeah.
Because the thing is, to my original goal when I started this was I wanted to understand how to like recharge and grow wealth, and I I figured it out how to do it. Like this, like I said, this is not nothing like everyone can see. Like this is real time. It'll probably yeah, it's gonna update again because you guys can see like I'm not hiding anything. Um,
Ah, it's fake. It's AI.
but
Well, well, I
Like, oh,
appreciate you sharing that. Absolutely, this is
yeah.
freaking awesome right here. And again, you know what else is cool? Like right now with everything going on, like a lot of people lost their jobs. How cool is it to have a skill to say I could log into a computer and press buttons to know that I could increase my income, and then teach it to my kids at some point? Because guess
Yeah.
what? I don't think AI is taking over trading. People say it will, but for some reason, it's not happening. I don't think the government will let that happen to begin with. I mean,
Yeah.
it's
The
not
other
feasible
thing too,
yet.
yeah, I hope my kid's first word was mama, but I was hoping to be like candlestick or something.
I don't know how your husband feel about. He said candlestick, not daddy.
But yeah, it's like everything that I've learned, it can be used in every way. And it's funny now because, I started this off with like swing trading and whatnot, but I'm kind of going back to my original intent, which is like I wanted to understand like how to compound and grow wealth, which this was like my year basically that I was able to
Yeah,
focus on it. And another thing that I think like Elliot and Leo and like all the coaches we help you with is understanding like there's a big mental piece that everyone kind of goes through with. I remember it was a few years ago. I still remember this because I called Leo and Elliot and I was like, hey guys. I need to talk to you. And they're like, what the heck? Like, what is this, like breaking up or something? Because it's like no one says like we need to talk. You always tell when I always tell you that, you're like, what's going on, Erin? But I remember I was calling Vlad and Alec because I was like doing so well, and then just sometimes like you have to get over like sometimes like things change, right? And I was like, I'm just about to quit. This is hard, like and whatnot. But everyone goes through it, and this is also the part of the community. You like rally. You're like, Erin, you have invested so much of your time and effort, and you know too much to just like quit this. And that's where the
Yeah.
community comes in and be like, Erin,
Yeah,
stop. Like,
and you know what's cool about that? Now, I know you said you want to, you want to help even more people. Like, and I know with coaching, it's hard to, because we're only limited to so many people we could help.
yeah.
That's why a program only could allow a certain amount. But you also mentioned like now you're doing YouTube. You're starting by, starting to do YouTube. But what made you really want to do YouTube?
Okay. So I've had some people reach out to me because I think I mentioned it like, hey, I started looking at okay, this year for me, so which I showed you with my purchases of Google, I didn't do it on just that one account. I
Yeah.
have multiple accounts and I did it on all of them. So you can just do the math that like, all right, times that times I think it's like 4 accounts that I did on.
Wow.
So but basically, what someone asked me, they're like, Erin, you've been trading for like 4 years and you've been investing for now a total of 10. And because of my growth with specifically with understanding the concepts with the Trader Foundation, my investing game has been unreal. And I don't like saying these kind of things, but like even my husband does not, my husband's name is Ashman. I maintain all our finances. Like particularly with our investing and our portfolios, I do a lot of it, majority of it. And he just periodically looks at it because I'm like, here, hey, take a look. And he's like, wow, and is always just pleasantly very surprised, like very happy and whatnot. And regarding YouTube, I kind of wanted like people ask me like, Erin, how do you have this conviction to like do this or like pull the trigger or like do the plunge, and to do it. And I was telling like a lot of these things, like I want to be real about my experiences and going through this journey because trading and investing and all this management, it doesn't just stop with Trader Foundation. You forever grow. I think of trading like, if you're a doctor or a lawyer, there's always continuing education.
Yeah.
And that's how I think of it. And people kept on asking me, like, Erin, if you had a channel, I would actually like, I'd definitely watch it and learn because I was telling them about like, hey, why didn't you purchase Google when I told you to? Or my simple enough strategy for like investing. And I was like, it literally just did that. Why didn't you do it? They're like, I was scared. And I was like, it's because you had retail mentality. And I was like, and this is where the coaches come in and be like, we can change that. And I wanted to really showcase like you can do it too. Like I think for a lot of people who don't want to put in the work, if they want to settle for 10% a year, there's nothing wrong with that. Okay. But I know that I can do better. And since so I started Trader Foundation 2021. The past 4 years, it has been my best like investing in a portfolio career that I ever had. The past four
Mhm.
years, and I was doing pretty good before that, but I think it was a lot of like luck and just like understanding. And I think I also have, to my defense, I think I have a pretty strong mental game and whatnot. But then it kind of escalated to like, wait, tying my mental strength with understanding charts and like knowing I'm like, oh, not only is this agreeing with the charts and technical analysis, I like I know what I'm doing, kind of
Right.
thing. And like tying all those things together, I have like pure confidence in it
Awesome.
to do it. Which is the reason why when I saw the Google opportunity, I went in like quite aggressively. But it's like we can, and I want to be able to share that with people. because I think a lot of okay, I was talking to a guy and it was Brian, and he was telling me, he's like, Aaron, I knew it was there, but and I knew it was a good deal, but then I got scared and then it just went out without me. And then I was like, we're not like, because we were talking about investing, because Vlad, I'll purely transparent. Okay. When I started investing, it was I only had like $5,000
Hmm.
10 years ago. And it's now compounded a lot more. And I don't want to disclose the exact numbers, but it's like more than the math can actually do. Like it's um I think they call it, someone told me it was like FIRE or something method. It's like financial for independence or something. There's an
Yeah, yeah,
acronym for it. I didn't know what it was. They said like you're on track for that. And I'm like, I didn't even know that was a thing. But yeah, some people just ask me about it. Like, Aaron, I'd really be interested in understanding like your mental game and like how you're able to kind of draw the downturns. And I'm like, and so I'm like, yeah, I'll be open about it. And because I think people can settle for way more than 10%, in my opinion.
yeah.
That's
I agree, and I'm actually looking forward to it. And if anybody's interested in checking out her channel, she's under Trader Foundation. So you could go to YouTube, just type in Trader Foundation, probably type in Erin, and boom. I think she's gonna have a. I know you're just starting it off, so give it a little time if you're just watching
Mhm.
this. But I know we have some amazing videos coming out. So subscribe. Definitely like some of those videos because you're gonna see a lot of cool things, man. I'm really looking forward to checking that out with you. And hey, and if there's gonna be a chance you could even maybe get some coaching from Aaron. You never know. So I know you loved if you want to get beat up by Aaron and make sure hold you accountable, she's the person for you. So that's awesome. Anything else you wanted to discuss before we go?
think we handled a lot of it. I'm sure there will
We
be
did.
other times, but I'm good on my end.
We'll be doing this again. I definitely appreciate you joining us today and sharing your knowledge, sharing your portfolio. Well, one of the five or whatever, how many you have. So really appreciate that. Thank you so much. And again, um, I think the biggest takeaway, at least for me here, is it's about getting clarity of what will work for you, not being scared that it's not going to work as long as you get the right help, and it's all about commitment. It's really
Mhm.
that's kind of in a nutshell. It's all about committing to it, and then eventually, it doesn't seem. This is what I've noticed with what you're doing, and everybody in our program. It the beginning, the first couple months is a little, you got to learn it, but then it becomes not that hard. It's actually pretty simple, pretty easy. There's just no shortcuts to learning it.
Yes, there's no shortcuts.
Go into it, get the coaching, understand it, and then from there, I think it becomes a lot simpler. Very simple, because I know you don't spend a lot of time. You Google, boom, done. Keep it moving. Let's go back to the kid.
Yeah, it's funny now because I've come to a point where I literally just look on Fridays. And then I didn't realize the end of the month was actually last Friday. So I did like I'm too busy for the holidays. I
Yeah,
did everything on Wednesday for my monthlies and then I exited. Or like and I just went off with my day.
yeah,
And,
that's awesome. And
um,
it's fun.
yes, and it's fun and obviously, people always are itching to get into play, but that's also another thing that will help you with is self-control. Like you don't have to be in a play all the time.
No.
And that's one of the things that I think a lot of traders struggle with is like, I want to be in something all the time. And I'm like, you really don't. It's okay. You
Just take a
know,
break.
it's okay. Like it's okay to just wait. Because I'll be like, I think on one of our lives, I was telling people like, Aaron, you haven't been trading that much for the month of November. I'm like, yeah, because there was only a few that I really liked.
Hmm. But
And
those could be huge.
yeah, and I was like, and it's okay. I don't, they're like, oh, but I really want to get to it with trade. I'm like, this is also where we help you. We're like, you don't have to be in something all the time.
Yeah. Yeah. And
There's
people
a
get
time and
addicted to it
place,
too. So it's
and it's like self control,
and
and
there's some
that's
long
actually
term plays you could be in all the time if you really, really want to
really,
be
really
there.
want to. But again, I only go for A+. So if it's anything less, like I don't need to risk that. Plus, I know it market always presents opportunities all the time.
Yep. Always. It's always up and
So
down since the 1800s. Same way, same
exactly.
patterns. That's what's cool about it. It's predictable. It's been around for eight since the
Exactly.
1800s.
It's predictable and it's funny too because I remember when I was talking with Elliot and Leo like a few years like when we first started it was when we first started.
Yeah.
Like my goodness, I wish I would have known all the stuff that I know now. And they're like, but you know it now. And I was like, yeah, that's true. And they're like, and plus, like you're building upon it. And I'm like, you're right. And it's now that I know I can help others for the stuff that I didn't know, you
Yeah.
know? And that's how I perceive it, with everything.
Awesome. Well, again, really appreciate you joining. And we'll talk again soon. So,
So
anybody else, just remember, check out the YouTube. It's really good. You're going to learn a lot. Talk soon.